All right, guys, so we can be very consistent when it comes to setting bedtime routines and schedules for our kids, but a lot of us really start to struggle when it comes to doing the same for ourselves. There's a lot of reasons that kind of go into this, but the main one is that we're just simply not making it a priority. And there's a really important reason as to why we want to do this, why we want to make sure that we are actually prioritizing a routine for ourselves in order to get good quality sleep. And that's just simply because we need that structure as well. You know, we can become very militant at times with our kids about getting them to bed on time, sticking to their routine and everything because we see the results that come from it. We know that we're going to deal with meltdowns and all that kind of stuff if we don't get them to bed on time and they don't get their sleep. But the reality of it is, as parents, as adults, we experience the exact same thing. It's just a lot of times it comes out a little bit different, or maybe we're able to hide it better. Now, when it comes to actually setting up that routine, it's actually probably easier than you think it might be. And a lot of it comes down to looking at some poor behaviors that we're practicing and that we're engaged in right now and just making some simple changes. And so, first off, a couple kind of the big common mistakes that I see people doing when it comes to getting ready for bed at the end of the night is number one, they don't have a routine. They don't have a structure. They don't have some way of kind of winding down for the end of the night. And so they just kind of, they get to the point of being exhausted. And so they just climb into bed and try to go to sleep. For some, this may work. For others, it may not. And for those that it may work where you're able to do that, it does bring into the question kind of the quality of sleep that you're able to get then. And so we want to have some kind of structure there. Now, the big other common issues is that not being consistent with a wind down routine of sort. But then also a major one for a lot of people is screens and phones and screen time and everything. Far too many people will get into bed to go to bed and then sit on their phone for a half hour to an hour just doom scrolling and just wasting time when they could be sleeping. That becomes very disruptive, and so that's one of the things that you absolutely want to get away with or get away from. And so when it comes to actually setting up a bedtime kind of a wind down routine, some of the things that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to sit down and you're going to sketch out and plan out what that actually is going to look like each and every night for you. You're not going to be able to stick to it every single night. That's just not realistic. But you want more nights than not to be able to stick to a specific routine. And so some of it is figuring out what exactly is going to work for you and for your situation, for your family. But what you generally want to do is looking about 20-30 minutes. A lot of things, if you see it out there, it'll say you want an hour before bedtime to start this process. Honestly, let's be real. As parents, that's not reasonable. It's just not feasible. So my recommendation is about 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes before, putting the phones away and start that whole process then. Get away from screens. This is especially true if you're somebody that struggles with your sleep. But get the phones away, put them away. Maybe a little bit of TV can be okay if it's not disruptive for you personally, but definitely get away from the phones. And then spend a little bit of time, maybe doing some kind of some self-reflection or some journaling. You can maybe it's putting together your list for tomorrow or something. For some people that can be helpful. Just spending a little bit of time just getting some of the thoughts and everything that are kind of bouncing around in your head out so that you can kind of let some of that go so it's not sticking with you when you lay down to go to sleep. Now, once you do that, I also recommend then, spending a little bit of time doing some light stretching or maybe a little bit of meditation or yoga or something to just there again kind of prime the body and prime the mind for sleep. Sending those signals saying, okay, it's time to wind down. It's time to start to prepare for sleep. It's time to prepare for bed, to climb into bed and go to actually sleep. And then after that, you have kind of the other stuff where it's brushing your teeth, washing your face, doing all of those kind of things that you're going to do. But again, setting up a specific routine is really important there because we want to take this time to remind our body and mind that it is time to wind down. It's time to kind of let go of the anxious thoughts. It's time to let go of a lot of the kind of just the stress and the energy and everything that might be there and actually start to relax. It's not something that we can just jump into bed and do. For most of us, some people are that way, but not everybody. Most of us are the way where we have to have some kind of process in order to actually relax the mind, relax the body, so that we can actually get some good quality sleep. So we can be who we want to be as parents, as adults, as professionals, and all of those kind of things. Sleep is extremely important there. So, with that being said, if you guys are interested, I have a PDF of sorts that I put together that kind of helps you create a little bit and walk you through the process of building your own kind of wind down plan, and doing so naturally without using melatonin or sleeping medications or anything like that. So if you're interested, I will have the link for that down in the description, so go and check it out. And if you guys have any questions or anything, feel free to always reach out to me, and I will get back to those as soon as I can. But other than that, thanks for watching the video, and I will talk to you guys in the next one.